Alright, you guys. I'm finally ready. Sorry, took a while to catch up here. For those of you that are listening live, just let me know that you guys can see my picture well and you can hear my voice, so I can get started. I'm going to get started right when market closes in about 2 minutes. You'll hear the bell, okay? Just waiting for the market to close before we start. You can take a quick look at the chart that I'm starting to work on here for SPY. If you haven't already, take a look at my previous video on Elliott Wave so that you understand what it is that I'm going to be going through. I'm going to be explaining some of these lines, and then we're going to be going through a few tickers like Amazon, Apple, some of other favorites like Grow Generation, GRWR. We might look at Roku, maybe even like at Tesla, some of the most popular ones that you guys requested. So just give me a few more minutes, guys, all right? All right, now that the market has closed, we can start taking a look at our setup here. So just to recap the video prior, what we focus on is building a technical analysis strategy based off of the Elliott Wave system. So if you watch the other video, you'll remember that the Elliott Wave theory says that we have 5 waves in an impulse move for any specific stock or ticker, right? You have this wave 1, wave 3, and wave 5 that are large impulsive moves, and the reason why they're impulsive is because they go up or at a high degree angle, price moves up. And then we have these 2 corrective waves, this wave 2 and this wave 4. And we also learned that directly after that, we have typically a correction that looks like this, an A, B, and a C. Now, that correction can come in many different forms. It can be a triangle, it can be a channel down, it can move sideways, and it can move down. But after every correction, there will be after every impulse, there will be a correction. So make sure to watch my previous video on that so you can catch up. So right now, the first thing that I'm going to do is obviously look at a daily chart for SPY and kind of see where we are in the general frame of this move. And you'll see here from my notes prior, I feel very strongly that we are either on a wave 3 or a wave 5 for SPY. Looking at these highs of RSIs, this right here feels like a high of a wave 1, and then here it feels like a high of a wave 3. Remember that when we're going from a wave 3 to a wave 5, what we want to see is a divergence in RSI and in MACD, and we don't have it here, right? From this high here on June 8th, RSI actually increased, so to me that's not a wave 3 to wave 5. Where we have the divergence, or possibly we'll have the divergence, is up here at the high of September 1st. We've been having this downtrend of RSI. So to me, that feels much more like a wave 5 is still yet to come. So if we plot that out, right, if we take a look at where we would be in that process, we look at that first wave down here on the daily chart. being here to this high here on June 8th. We have this correction here, and now we're reaching a wave 3. It's very possible that this wave 1 came a lot earlier, but I feel very strong that this is a wave 3. And now we're looking for a wave 4 correction, okay? And then moving on to wave 5. It is possible, and again, we've discussed this before, that this might actually be wave 1 down here. This is our wave 3 here. And we finished a wave 5. But in either case, it doesn't really matter because we are still in a corrective pattern, okay? Generally, when we finish a impulse wave, the ABC correction will go to at least the top of wave 3, which is here. So I can mark this here with a line. Right around, we're looking at about 323, right? Okay, let me mark that blue color and make it nice and bold. All right, or it'll go down to the low of the 4th wave, which is down here at about a low of 299 or 300. Okay, there we go. Okay, so those are the 2 targets. Okay, so as you can see, this first pullback that we had back in September 1st and 3rd, it reached that low, that high of wave 3. It ended up finishing right around 319, but it hung around that 323 level. Okay, so we have 2 options there. Either this first move down is the completed ABC correction, which I now don't believe because of what's happened recently, and then we would start a new 5 wave up. Okay, unfortunately, when we broke this 337 level, that invalidated the move upward. So what was possible, and I know we're getting kind of messy here, but what was possible is that this was a 1, a 2, we were going to have a 3, a 4, and then a wave 5 up to new highs around the 368 level, I think was what we first forecasted. Okay, but since we broke this high of 331 today, that invalidates this move. That means we're no longer in a impulse wave up, because as you guys remember when we discussed, you can't have a wave 4, 1, 2, you can't have a wave 4 go below these 2 points, especially not below this one. Okay, it invalidates that move. That's not what we need. We need it to be up here above this level, wave 1. So since we had that invalidation, what we have to look at now is a correction, a deeper correction, at least of an A, a B, and a C. Now, when we see these corrections, usually they come in the form of a 335, this zigzag pattern. So what we're looking now for is a ABC within that ABC. Then we look for an opposite move, right? ABC going up, and then going down. We want to see 5 waves to finish the move. 1, 2, and the rules stay the same as far as impulse waves. Okay, so this is what I want to see. I want to see ABC going down, ABC going up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going down. So let's see if we have that now. I'm going to actually zoom in here from the daily to the 2-hour chart, because I think it gives us a much better look. And let me see if I can make this as clear as possible for you guys. So here you see from September 1st down to these lows here, on September 24th, a really pretty solid ABC pattern. Okay, then the opposite way, we have the same thing, another ABC pattern going up. You might even be able to list this as a 5-wave move up, but I think ABC works a lot nicer. So what I'm looking for now is 5 waves down. Okay, so I'm looking for 5 waves down. So this is the view that I currently have and I'm watching every single day. So this purple line here, this is let me get rid of this. This is the move that I'm looking for now. Okay, so what I'm looking for is a really definitive wave 1 and 2, and then what we did yesterday, or actually on Monday, is a strong impulse wave 3 down. Because remember, with these Elliott waves, the strongest points that we're looking for are the ends of wave 2s and the ends of wave, the end of wave 2 and the end of wave C. because that's when either a new wave 1 starts, a new impulse wave, or a wave 3, which is the biggest impulse wave of all, okay? That's where you're going to make your biggest money, okay? So looking at this up here, what we're going to look for, starting with this high on October 12th, is when they would reach a pullback, okay? So the first pullback we got here on the 2-hour chart was this high here on the 16th, about 4 days later, at around 350, okay? So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to grab my retracement tool, fib retracement tool. Go from the top of that high here on the 12th down to the low here on the 15th. I'm going to extend it just so I can see it. And what I'm looking for is somewhere between a 50% to a 618 correction. If we take a look here, 618 correction is at 350.43. Our high here was 350.74. I think that's pretty spot on. So I'm confident to say that that's wave 2, okay? So I'm going to put that purple line to end there. Now, what is the prediction now, right? Well, the prediction now is at least 100% extension of this move. So we go back to here. Again, we're on investing.com. This is a free resource for you guys to use. We're going to look at trend-based fib extension, okay? And I'm going to grab it from the top of that move, just like I did the retracement, down to the bottom of that move, but then I'm going to extend it upward to the top of that move, right? And I'm going to pull it out here so you guys can see it. But I'm keeping that level the same, right? So my first goal for the retracement down, this wave 3, is 33923. And you see here that we blew past it, we came back and we tested it, and then we gapped down past it. The next goal would be 1618, which today, look, we gapped right to that level, 1618, okay? The next one that we look at, the next major level, is this 2618, which is at 320.38, okay? And it looks like we're not done yet. It looks like we might actually be heading toward that level, okay? So I'm going to put that down here. I figured that we would retrace and bounce, but no, I guess we're going to the next level, which is 320.38, which this is what I talked to you guys about, okay? So when I first started this, I would have had this as my level first, which is the 339. So I would have put the wave 3 there. But 2 days ago, you saw that we broke past that, and very convincingly. So I go to the next level, and that's how I set up my trades, you guys, okay? So now I go down to the 618 level. I say, okay, well, that's the next target, is 332. And guess what? Today we broke it. Not only did we break it, but we ran past it. So these two levels to me now are confirmed, right? So this one, check mark, we got that one. Next level, check mark, we got that one. Now we move to the next level, right? Which is this 2618 level at 320.3. So now I'm going to put my third wave, which is the biggest wave, down to the 618 level. Okay, so that's the next target. Okay, the 2618 at 320.38. So if you're holding puts, feel confident to continue to hold it. This candle also is very bearish, so it looks like it's gonna move down. Okay, now if we do get a bounce, what's the bounce gonna look like, right? What kind of extension backward can we look for? So here's what we're gonna do. You're going to grab that fib retracement, and you're going to measure what we forecast as the wave 3. Remember, we don't know if that's the case yet. We're just forecasting. I'm going to grab this high here, and I'm going to extend it down here. What I want to see is at the very least a 236 extension, which is 326, retracement. So this level 4, wave 4, will come back at least to 326. And I'm not saying tomorrow, I'm not saying Friday, but sometime in the near future. Okay, it might trade sideways until it gets to that number. It also can hit this 382 level, which is much more common, the 330 level. So it might actually pull back all the way up here. But we'll put this as our first level, and then we'll mark a box here between those two. Okay, as a zone to re-enter puts. If you're not already in them, obviously, but we're sitting at that level right now, and we continue to drop after hours. So let's color that a yellow, and then we'll put a note in there. We'll put something like re-entry for puts. Okay, and we'll make it a little smaller so we can see it. Okay, so I'll leave that there, re-entry for puts. All right, I know I have a lot going on here, so let me delete this, and I can delete this. All right, so this is our forecast now for the end of the wave 4. Now, where is this extension of this wave 5? Okay, because remember, we're talking about the short wave 3 within this larger wave. Okay, so now we got to forecast, okay, how long can we go? Well, we know from our previous video, at the very least, this wave 5 down is going to be the length of wave 1. So let me show you how to do that. You grab your trend-based fib extension, you grab it from the top of that level, let me actually zoom this down, top of this level, down to level 1, and then I'm going to pull it down to where I think the top of level 4 is. And that gives me a level 314. Okay, so potentially this wave 5 will end at 314. Okay, this is the ultimate, lowest expectation. Okay, so let's get rid of that. So that's where we're sitting at now. Okay, so for now, the plan is for it to decrease, move down about the 323 level, more likely the 320, and then get a nice little healthy bounce. What might make that bounce? Well, we have Apple earnings tomorrow, and we also have Amazon earnings at the end of market close tomorrow. So maybe those two, if they're surprising or if there's a lot of buying going in on them, specifically Amazon, I think Amazon's going to be the one that does it, that makes us bounce. That'll help us get back up to this level. Okay, so then this longer wave 3 now gets extended down, and wave 4 gets moved up. Okay, so now we got to measure this one. So what we're looking for here now is an extension of this move, a retracement of this move. So we said that typically we look for that 236 level, preferably 328, but let's put it at 322 for now. So we're going to look for this bigger wave 4 to end at 324, and we might even leave it there at 323. Okay, and then wave 5 will end somewhere in there. So I still have this buy zone here to go long, but we might actually want to lower it, maybe from 317 into there. Okay, now here's the game plan, you guys. Right now, from now until, let's say, at least sorry, let me close this real quick. From now until maybe the middle of November, we're not going to buy any long-term calls. None. It's going to trade sideways, of course, because the election is here, right? So that's my goal for you guys is day trades only. If you want to get into long-term stocks, I mean, that might be okay, but no long-term calls. You're going to get butchered. You're going to get killed, okay? So everything short-term, you want to play puts, I'm okay with that too, but those should also be short-term day trades or overnight swings, okay? So right now, we're looking at this as potentially being our buy zone. Now, why is that important? If we go back to the daily chart, okay? If this is in fact a wave 5, and this is our A, B, C, right? Our longer term correction. So let's scribble this real quick so we can see. If this is indeed our bigger wave A, this is our bigger wave B, and over here we're going to have a wave C. What that means for us now is that we're going to start a new wave up, okay? And again, not political at all, but the president-elect that we have is going to have a large say in whether we continue to bounce. But either way, because there's two options after we get to the C zone, okay? There's two options. Either we're going to bounce with a healthy 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on, or we're going to extend this move to a D, this looks like a B, and then an E down here, okay, which will ultimately make a triangle, right? It'll make this kind of shape here, right? Either something like this, some sort of triangle like that. It might even narrow out much smaller. But either way, the prediction is the same. I think we move up in an impulsive way once we get into this zone. So I ask you guys, be very careful, stay hedged, continue to monitor your positions and exit them if you feel too much exposure. Hedge with SPY puts or UVXY calls, VXX calls, or SQQ calls, as well as monitor your positions much more carefully. Okay, so I'm going to save that. Let's take a look at the big players that might impact this. Okay, so let's go look at Amazon. Right, Amazon has earnings, I believe this Thursday after market close. You'll see that Amazon, and I've already done this for a few people. Amazon has a very similar chart to SPY, right? We're currently in this A, B, and C correction, right? And if we look up closer, we can kind of already see it here, right? It looks pretty obvious that we have this wave 1, 2, this looks like it might have been a 3, right? Now we're on this wave 4, and we're going to probably head further down. And this is what makes it very interesting to me, because I expect Amazon to do well. I mean, they've been killing, sales for the last 6 months, and people are still ordering online. I'm still spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month on Amazon. I don't see why they don't beat earnings. But as you saw yesterday, companies that beat earnings like Chegg, Microsoft, they're getting killed. And it's because of expectations. It's because of a lack of forecast for the future. And that's the thing, is that we're unsure of what might happen. So this right now is very interesting to me. I think if Amazon does dip below this 3,112 level, I think we see much more downside. I personally have it hitting this zone in the 2,900 to about 2,600 zone. This is my buy zone for long-term Amazon. If we do get a flash crash on Friday, that's going to present the biggest opportunity. That's why I've been telling you guys to save your pennies and get things going. We have a question here. So what happens if earnings numbers push the stock up? How does that change the wave? That's the thing, is that even if earnings are good, I don't think it does. It might just extend the move, because if this is a wave 4 here, right, we can see this here being an A, a B, and a C, right? You're saying, okay, what if tomorrow Amazon goes up, right? What if it goes up and it goes this way, right? Well, what might end up happening, is an extended A, B, C, D, E triangle, right? Where we have an A, a B, a C, a D, and then somewhere like an E. We're still going to have a move down. I really believe that, especially with the election on Tuesday, right? I still think that we're going to go down. So if you want to play a lotto Amazon to go up, you might get lucky, but I think there's more to the downside. There's more profitability to the downside right now than there is to the upside. But then again, this is what I tell you guys: don't be bulls, don't be bears, be wolves. Play both sides. Wait for the confirmation of this zone, and then enter long. Because remember, it's easier to buy stock than it is to sell it. Not a lot of people know how to short stock. Everybody knows how to buy a stock. Robinhood, E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim. It's all super easy to buy stock. All right, so that's Amazon. Let's take a quick look at Apple. And Apple here, look at, I already had this listed again, and I had 2 different options here, and we're running into the same situations, basically the same chart. Okay, see that? Same thing with Apple. We have an A wave down. We thought we had a 5th wave final up, but it looks like we're still going through it. So this 4th wave might reach all the way back down here. And if we look at a 2-hour chart, let me see if I'm a little tighter. Yeah. Well, this messed up my chart, but anyway, there's a level here for this final 3rd wave, right? And so we're looking at this right here as being a level, and look at, that's exactly where we broke off. This low here too, this gap up, so we don't really have a 3rd wave here, but this correction that we're going through, we're expecting at least a 100% equal move down from here for Apple, and we're going through that today. You see the indications of the indicators. We're all moving down, so it kind of gives the same feel. Okay, so that's my point of view right now, you guys. It's a wait and see approach. Be greedy, be selfish. Wait for this zone down here, right, as a buying opportunity, and be ready, because when that zone does happen, if this is the case, you're going to get a 5-wave impulse up. okay? Which means you're gonna be at the bottom along with all the big hedge funds. You're gonna be able to see a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. Okay, you're gonna see Apple go from 100 to 130 back to its highs back in September. That's gonna happen. I don't see it rolling over and falling down. It might, but I don't see it. That's generally what happens in these situations. Now, if I'm wrong and it doesn't work out this way, at least our limits are short, right? Because let's say Apple does fall to 100, right? Let's say it falls down to $100, and I tell you guys, okay, now is a good time to buy. No, sorry, not to 100. Let's say, yeah, 100. Let's say it drops to 100. We're gonna set our stop loss pretty narrow, right around here at the $93 level. Because if that's the case, right, if it gets to here in this zone and it drops, it could extend, but it should have a bounce. If it gets to the zone and it continues to drop down, then that play is invalidated. We get out of that position with the $5 to $6 move to the downside, right? That's much better than buying up here and having it continue to drop down because you're hearing me say, oh, it's going to bounce, and you want to get in early. No, don't do that. Remember, one of my biggest what's it called? Sayings is the early bird gets the worm, the second rat gets the cheese. Okay, so you don't have to be the first guy. Let somebody else do it. Let somebody else get hammered by theta, and then you guys move on from there. All right, I have about 15 minutes, so I'll do some quick TA on some tickers. So let's see here. Pins, yeah, the pins do good. I haven't checked the after hours. I don't think this thing allows me to see after hours anyway. But if pins did good, let me check my Thinkorswim actually. Give me a second, guys. Here, let me check my Thinkorswim here. Said exploded after hours. Yeah, from 48 to 61. There wasn't really a lot to look at when it comes to pins. Other than what you can see is that it looked like it corrected already this move. So I can see here, if we kind of chart this, the setup was there, right? This was your A wave here, this was your B wave, and this was your C wave. So naturally what was going to happen was a 5-wave impulse up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 up. So that's kind of what's happening right now. And it looks like they've gone completely above that. They're like at 60, so they're somewhere up here now, right? 61, I think the level is. So they're way up there. So if you did catch pins, great job. I didn't play it simply because I didn't know if there was enough support because of the downturn in SPY. But if you did play that, congratulations. All right, Facebook, we'll take a quick look. Facebook might be the same chart as Apple, but we'll take a look. All right, so here's an example. Facebook is holding on to that support. When do they have earnings? It's soon, right? Let me see here. So Facebook, we had forecasted to have the same ABC correction, but you see Facebook is actually staying the course. It's still in this uptrend, right? So that's something that we got to take a look at and see if it's going to continue to go on into this channel. If we look at our indicators, let's see what they tell us. If there's anything significant, let me add here. This is another one that I use, CCI, Commodity Channel Index. It looks pretty good actually. It's moving up. I mean, still in a downturn, but still moving up. So it might just continue to trade sideways. So if they have earnings, you might want to check that. I'm not sure if they do or not, if they already had it. AMD, I'll take a quick look. AMD, I actually was very bullish on AMD, so I'm curious to see if that's still going on. Yeah, again, look at, it's pretty obvious here. Like when you look at this, there's a good, and they might be like Pinterest. You had this, actually, you know what? Let me see here. We might actually have something different here. It looks like we might have this movement here. A, B, C, D, and an E. That might be the case. Either way, I would think, even though it's this volume peak here, I would think that it's going to be time for it to bounce soon. If you look at CCI, also we're completely overextended. RSI is also overextended. So for me, AMD would be a buy. I would look for at the very least $87 in the next month or so. That would kind of be my projection for it. If we're going to lean anywhere, I would lean calls. I would think something around here, this level. Okay, yeah, pins killed it. OSTK, let's look at OST. Oh, sorry, did I miss Facebook? Oh, I did Facebook. Let me look at OSTK. Overstock, right? Overstock.com. Yeah, it looks like they're still in a corrective pattern, but it looks like they're coming back. Looks like maybe we got an extension of a C wave. So it looks like an A, a B, and then a C down here. Maybe we're coming back now. You have what's called an expanding diagonal. So we might have something like this, like an A, a B, sorry, a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. I know that that isn't what follows the rules, but this is a very special situation. So that might be the first thing that's happening, and we might actually just have a longer wave 1, 2, and then a move up, 3, 4. If we have a continued pandemic concern, right, coronavirus, COVID, I would expect Overstock to do well and then to continue to bounce up. Maybe just a few more days of trading sideways or down and then coming back. CVX, I know I heard a lot about that today. What do they do? CVX, let me see. Nope, it's not loading. CVX, is that a penny stock? Oh, Chevron. Huh. Yeah, I wouldn't touch it. I mean, it looks like it's bottoming out, but I wouldn't touch anything related to oil right now. RKT is not speculative. I mean, it's mortgage insurance, right? Rocket Mortgage. It has what I talked about earlier, an expanding diagonal to start. So what it looks like here is we have this wave 1, 2, 3. This is probably extending to a 4, and then we're going to have another wave up 5. As long as it holds this level, there's not a lot of data on it. As long as this holds this level, let me see what this low is. This low is 1831, right? I think you're pretty safe as far as buying into it. As you can see, it pretty solidly held up that level. As long as it holds, I could see a bounce for it. But if it breaks that level, I'd be out immediately as soon as it crosses that level. Let me see here. Yeah, pins killed it. RKT, look at Workhorse. You know, Workhorse is one of my favorites, but yeah, it's getting killed because there's no news about their deal with USPS, United States Postal Service. So what we have here is what we discussed before, is we have this, it feels like an expanding move as well. I'm looking at O'Reilly right now, they beat forecast. We might be gapping up too. Let me check real quick, guys, how SPY is doing. I'm guessing it's probably moving up. 326. It's doing okay. Again, Workhorse, it's tough. It doesn't have too much data. It was sitting at pennies for a while. So starting this wave off, what we're going to have is, like I said, it's called an expanding diagonal, which is you're just starting this wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3. Now we're reaching a wave 4, and we're going to hit a wave 5. But we need to wait for the news. All the indicators are pointed toward a reversal soon, but it might continue to go down. And that's the thing you don't want to wait for. You don't want to continue for more pain and more losses. I would buy stock, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be trading options. I wouldn't be buying calls. But I would be buying stock anywhere around the $15 level, which is where it had been for such a long time. So I might put a zone in here. See how much support it has here, right at this level right there. So if it gets close to the 14 maybe even $15 level, which it looks like it kind of got close today. I like this candle. This is the reversal doji candle. You see that we had one here momentarily, and it bounced, right? Had one here and had a short bounce. You have one here. It might offer you a short bounce as well, but I would be looking for this zone here as a buying opportunity for it to recover on that fifth wave. Okay. All right. I got time for a couple more before I have to go. Yeah, workhorse, like I said. MJ, yeah, GV, thank you for hinting to me about MJ. MJ obviously stands for marijuana, which is Alternative Harvest ETF. This is going to be huge if Biden wins, okay? If the Democrats take the White House, this will be huge. But the chart, as you can see, is nothing but downside, right? There's nothing positive about this chart that I can see, at least just looking at it right now. It looks like it's been going down since its creation. You might have it ending, right? It looks like you might be having some sort of like, let me see if I can, hold on. Sorry. This is real tough because it's such a long time. You can kind of see this impulse wave down, wave 1, wave 2, a long wave 3. Maybe we're in a wave 4 now to come back, right? Somewhere around here. And then another wave down. That's possible. But in the short time frame, let's see if we can find anything here. Alright, let's try it again. Because now my chart's all messed up. Live charting just for you guys. Alright, we're going to move on from MJ. Taking too much time. But to me, it would be strictly a play on the White House. There's some support here at this level, which is getting very close to the $10 level. But it would really be just more like a lotto. This is a good candle here to reverse. You could see movement heading upward from this candle, just like the way it did here. All right, let's move on. Yeah, patience. But I know I love workhorse too, you guys. But we need the news. We need to get the actual confirmation of that contract. Yeah. So you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I gotta run now. I'm sorry that this video today isn't as long and as intricate as the other one was, but I'm going to be popping in every once in a while just to give you some live feedback and give you the opportunity to take a look at things. Actually, one I wanted to share was Uber. As you guys know, I've been very bullish on Uber. Had a great candle today. And again, look at this is what we're looking for here. It is in the corrective pattern right now, so it's got this A, this B, this C, this D, and now this E. So I fully expect it to go up, especially on November 2nd. If that Proposition 22 is passed in California, we will see a 5-wave move upward. So long term for me, it feels very good to buy into Uber, and you'll be seeing me. I already did post one yesterday, and we had a gap down today, but a little recovery. I do expect it to recover in the next couple of days. I'm not really going to look at XOM, Daniel. XOM is the oil, right? Exxon. I'm not touching oil because oil is just getting killed. So I'm not going to touch it until I see some sign of life, which right now it has none. It's sitting at the low of back in March. Can it go higher? Does it have room to go higher? Of course it can. Anything can go higher. But it's going to need some support first. I want to see it go higher first before I get in. CCI is telling you that it's going to reverse. RSI is telling you that it's going to reverse. MACD is not really telling you much. It's pretty flat, if that negative. So I wouldn't touch XOM right now. Alright, last one I'm going to do before I go is Draftkings. So no problem, Manish. Thank you so much for supporting and for giving me the opportunity to help you guys and guide you through this, because I want everybody to print and make money, and that's what we're trying to do here. Draftkings looks like it's getting to the end of this move. Again, if we look at RSI, and we plot out these short patterns, it looks like we had just finished the fifth wave of advance. So if I can quickly draw this out, this was down here was our wave 1. We had a wave 2 down, this impulse wave 3. You might want to call this whole thing a wave 4, and then we had this final wave 5 up. Okay, so what we should see now, and we've already kind of seen, is a correction, very much like the other ones did. So we already broke through this top level 3, so we're finding some support here. We can go down as low as this 30 level, so that might be a good point to place there. I would expect a bounce right around maybe to this level here, and then another move down. So that's where I would put my zones for Draftkings. We could see more pain in the short term, but there's going to be a really good buying opportunity here. Whether this is a continuation of a ABC correction, or if we in fact do have a new 5 wave up, I think either way this makes a good opportunity to buy in on Draftkings right around this zone. There's a lot of support here. Where it's sitting at now, if you notice, you see all these highs here. It found a lot of support here, and that's exactly where we ended at today, a little bit above that support. Right around here, see how we resisted it, we broke through, we came back, retested it, we retested it, and we broke through. This is a good sign for me. I think this might reverse soon. And if you notice, most of our charts look like that. Most of our charts look like a couple of more days of bleeding, right? And then a bounce, if not a bounce immediately. All right, that's it, guys. You picked up some space, Prash. Let me take a look at that one before I go. I do like space as well. Again, that's another ticker that will do well with a Democrat behind the White House. But let's take a look. Yeah, it's definitely on a big downside. I still need more though to get into space. To me, it's not ready yet. It still has a lot of downside to it. Let's look at a little bit of a wider time frame here. It looks like it might need more. It looks, let me see here. Just kind of looking at this. Does this feel like a strong wave A? We had this B, and now it looks like it's coming down. Even more downside here. Something like that. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's a tough one. I wouldn't touch space for now. Okay, last one, SPAC. I know somebody had asked me about that before. There's not a lot to see here. Again, just like the other tickers, you need to wait for it to find some support. You need a sign of buying. Look at all these red days. This is all bad. But it looks to me like you have this move down, this A, this move up, B, and this move C. Let me see how long this is and see if it matches. From this high, where are we at? A high of 21.53, that's fine. Let's move down A, let's move up B. 100% would be at 828. So I would put a zone at 828 to buy SPAC. So we could do this. We can place a rectangle here, put a box here, and that'll be our buy zone there. So we're almost there. Today we hit a low of 879, which is only 50 cents apart from that low. So very soon, I would say, is the buy time for SPAC. Okay? All right, you guys. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining me here, and thank you for liking and subscribing the videos. Make sure you're on our Discord. Remember, I do offer one-on-one training services. Those of you who have received that so far, hopefully I've been able to help you. If you haven't, send me a DM. Share this with anybody that you want to share this with that would benefit from it. Let's make this stuff easy to understand, you guys. Let's not allow the big hedge funds to be the only ones making money. Let's let the little guys win too. And thank you, guys. Have a good day, and I will be back on this weekend for more videos like this. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, smash the like button. The Discord is Oakmont, the Oakmont. If you go to my Twitter, at Sharkybot, you'll find a link there. Also on Instagram or here on the YouTube channel. I'll add it to the description as well. All right, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.